Hotel workers of Reddit, what is the worst thing you have found in a room after a guest stay? It was a family retreat kid's birthday party. The adults were getting faced while the kids were in the presidential suite raising hell. They had decided to have a fully stocked ice cream bar and allowed the kids to do what they wanted with it. M&Ms crushed into the carpet, chocolate footprints on the walls, whipped cream effing everywhere. Fruit punch spilled on the bed. In total we had to charge them about $7,000 in damages, which they took to court because they thought the cleanup would be included. That's why we did it at a hotel. They also smashed glass all over our dog hiking trail, which I had to clean up. One of my favorite hotel stories, not a room, but the pool. It's late evening, and a woman comes angrily into our lobby from the pool with 3 children and says, "You guys need to do something about what's going on out there," and gestures to the pool area. I look at her inquisitively, and she just says, "Go look, you'll see." I walk outside, and it's pretty immediately clear the couple in the hot tub are discreetly having sex. I approach just enough to get their attention and say, "Hi guys, I know everyone's here to have a good time tonight, but we got a complaint about some hot and heavy activity in the hot tub." They are clearly intoxicated, but apologize and say it will stop. A few minutes later, the phone rings. It's the woman who complained before, calling from her room which faces the pool. They're still at it. You need to do something. Children are staying in this hotel. I go back outside and sure enough, now that the spectators are gone, they're effing it out in the hot tub. I go back out, tell them to get out. They start giving me the story. It's their anniversary. They're very sorry. We won't have any more problems with them, etc etc. I foolishly let them stay in the hot tub. 10 minutes later, phone rings. Seriously. Same lady. I look out the window. They're both totally naked. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I've warned them. I'm calling the police." Police arrive and head out to the pool. The officer handles it like a pro. He's very nice, lets them know that it's inappropriate, but he doesn't want to ruin what's clearly a fun weekend for them both. But they need to go to their room and not come out for the rest of the night. They are to stay in their room until tomorrow morning. No excuses. The couple thanks him for his understanding and promises they'll behave and stay in their room. The officer and I wind up chatting and laughing about it all, and he asks if he can grab a cup of coffee in our lobby while he fills out his report. Of course he can. He's sitting in the lobby. I'm back to work, and I hear him say, "Oh, you've got to be effing kidding me." I'm shocked at the broken quietness as I see him jump up and exit the lobby, right to the hot tub, where the same couple is back in the hot tub making out. I can only assume they took the stairs at the end of the hall out to the parking lot and around to the pool. Arrested them both. They came back Monday afternoon. They were arrested on Friday night to collect their property. A bear. First, you gotta understand that a lot needs to happen for this to occur. Our lowest floor was still about 1.5 meters from the ground, and each outside room had a balcony rail. However, a guest had decided to want to unload his motorcycle from his truck and leave the ramp down, so I'm assuming he could ride the bike up when he was done. The guest that was staying in the room had room service, decided to leave the food uncovered and the balcony doors open, and later went to the hotel pool spa to relax. Upon returning, they had gone to a sad reception and said that there was a bear in the room. Puzzled, we quietly approached the room and slowly opened the door. Lo and behold, there was a bear eating room service and making a mess of my afternoon. We called Parks Canada to deal with it. Guest was not charged a cleaning fee. TLDR, a bear used a car as a ramp to get into a room at the property. I worked at a hotel a few years ago, front desk. I checked out a nice couple in the morning. They were very friendly, said they enjoyed their stay. Then housekeeping got to their room. The poor woman looked shell-shocked. I got to go through the room with a camera and my supervisor to document the state of the room. 2 large, black, double-headed dildos, lots of Ziploc bags with powdery residue, syringes, some used, some still with caps on them, including 2 in the toilet, and more travel-sized bottles of baby oil than I could count. We also found what appeared to be feces and blood smeared all over the bedding and walls and a small digital camera. Police were called, descriptions of them taken, and all their information they had used to check in. I quit soon after, so I don't know if they ever found them or pressed charges. I was in housekeeping for a while in the winter, and a co-worker of mine found a poop in a condom, tied to the microwave door. Definitely the most baffling thing I'd heard of anyone finding. Pizza. And not just like leftovers. An entire pizza. And not a single slice of it in the box. The first red flag we found was the slice of pizza smeared all over on the TV. Then we saw two slices side by side, like they had worn them for slippers, and dragged their feet across the floor. One slice in the dresser, one in the nightstand, one in the sheets, and one in the bathroom sink. We cleaned the room as normal, and put all the pizza in the box. The whole time I'm wondering why someone would do this. Was the pizza not good? Was one slice enough, and you had to buy the whole thing? I'm doing the final checks in the room and it still smells like pizza. I flick the lamp on and look for the final slice. I finally find it, shadowed in the lampshade. This individual had smeared the last slice on the inside of the lampshade. That was the final piece of the puzzle, or pizzle. This person bought an entire pizza just to hide it in his hotel room. A dead body. Someone ended up killing themselves in the hotel room by hanging themselves in the closet. Was in there a few days before we found him. Two worst experiences I had to witness were: a couple came to the desk early in the AM. They clearly had been in an all-out fist fight. They were a cash-paying customer and all they said was, "Sorry, we got in a fight. There is blood in the room. We are HIV positive." Then they took off. Room was an absolute horror show. Had to hire special cleaners to come gut the room, and ended up replacing basically everything in the room. Room was OOC for almost a year. Same hotel. We had some wards of the state types staying. Worst were a couple with a newborn. They couldn't afford basically anything, so made the decision to use our towels as diapers. The state wouldn't let us kick them out, and they were just taking the towels off the carts. Ended up having to evict them from the hotel as they had been there long enough to establish residency. A syringe under a mattress. After I felt a prick on the end of my finger. I was tucking in a sheet under the bed, and there were actually 2 uncovered insulin needles under there. I got rushed to hospital, hepatitis shots and a tetanus shot, 2 different HIV prevention medication for a month, monthly blood tests for about a year. I'm fine, and it barely stuck me in truth, but I was already afraid of needles and disease. I still feel traumatized. I was not going to post at all, but I've always wondered if there was anything else I should have done. The doctors assured me that they were more precautious than necessary. I had an elderly couple check in one afternoon. A couple hours go by and the husband comes up saying the wife is sick and they need to leave immediately. Given the circumstances, we figured it would be a quick clean, so we refunded the money and downed the room for the night. The next morning we tell one of our maids to hit it first, since we knew it was empty. The maid came back refusing to clean the room, because there was all over the bathroom. I didn't really believe her, because she tended to be lazy. So I decided to check it out myself. She wasn't lying. There was everywhere. I don't know how, but there was on the toilet seat, on the tank, under the vanity, and on the wall under the vanity, on the floor next to the toilet, on the wall behind the toilet, and on the side of the bathtub. This lady must have blown out her a-hole while falling over. How and where she The smell was horrendous. I ended up having to clean it. I went through 3 bottles of our strongest cleaner plus an entire garbage bag of cleaning rags which were immediately trashed. We had to down the room another 5 nights with the use of 5 bottles of air freshener and open windows. I'll never forget that. A friend used to clean hotel rooms as a side job. Once he found a on the nightstand with a slice of cheese on top. Another time, he went into a room to clean, and this woman was lying on the bed naked. He apologized and started to leave. She offered him €50 to spit on her while she masturbated. He spat on her. People that have died, feces on the walls and furniture along with vomit, drug paraphernalia, drugs, and once a gun. Feces and vomit is the worst though.